Hi, and welcome back to season 3 of Books and Booze. We're on episode 2, and with us is Melanie Moreland. And I'm just gonna throw it to Marie so she can do her thing.
And
You
give
were
your
supposed
throat a
to
rest.
say this
Yeah,
is an episode of Books and Booze, woman, and then I introduced Melanie. You took
I,
my thunder.
I don't know what I was doing. I was like, I'm just
She's hilarious.
I'm just opening up the episode. I'm just like, hey, we're recording. Okay, that's what it is.
Well, this is going to be a messy episode, but we love it. This is us. We're chaos. But today we have Melanie Moreland, who we've had on before multiple times. We love her. So thanks for joining us again.
You're welcome.
Hey, Melanie.
Thanks
How
for
are you?
having me back.
Oh, putting up with our shenanigans. I love it.
I love your shenanigans. Last time I was too sick and Karen did it? And I just sat
that was
quietly
the
in the corner?
Christmas. Yeah, so the Christmas one, you weren't feeling the greatest. So Karen was a peach and took over
and
drank. She made several drinks and she didn't even read that much. It was mostly just all drinking.
Well, yes, because she wanted to sample all her own drinks.
Yeah. And then she was shit-faced. It was fantastic. And then,
we loved it. Oh my God, it was great. She was really one of us.
We'll make sure to link that in when this pops up so you guys can enjoy it. And then you're also for reading My Favorite Kidnapper. So you were with us for that one.
Yes. And today we're reading this one.
Yes, My Favorite Boss, which, by the way, I love this story so much.
It was so cute. I loved it. Yeah. And I love Maggie, but we'll go into that later.
Yes.
After we read.
And do you guys have your drinks?
I do. I have cold medicine, a nice little big cup of that. So that'll be fantastic. I'll be delirious by the end. It'll be great.
I'm a Diet Coke and my water. So we're good.
Okay, none of us are real lushes tonight, are we?
I've
let Karen down. I have no booze. Oh dear.
One day we'll get back on the drinking, but whatever.
Yeah, it's not a rush, okay? We got we don't need booze to be obnoxious. We got this. We're fine on our own.
Yeah, we're obnoxious naturally.
Yeah. Absolutely. It comes very natural to all of us.
Yeah.
As it should. That's what makes us amazing.
I think so. But before we start, I'm supposed to do part of my job here, which is tell everybody the drink words, which is numbers, wahaha, count, and zen.
Yep.
That's fantastic.
That's it.
So whenever you're ready, we'll mute. You read, we'll drink.
All right. I'm not reading a chapter because I suck at reading out loud, but let's try this. At least I'm not drunk, Karen.
Yeah, Karen.
Okay, let's start off strong. Myers, I need numbers, I snapped. Come on, Sonia, drink that cold medicine.
I had a gulp of coffee in my throat already. I was trying to choke it down. I'm like, oh shit, I gotta go.
Okay. Oh God, where'd I go? Okay. She pushed the files away. As soon as I finished this email. Now, I added with a glare. Give me numbers now. She picked up her pen. 1 pen, she said in a strange voice. 1. La-ah-ah. Next came the file folders. 3 file folders, she screeched again in that odd voice. 3. Wah-ah-ah. I feel like I should be drinking too. She fisted something on her desk and opened her hand, paper clips raining down and dancing on the top. Who the hell knows, she warbled. 23, give or take. 23 paper clips. Wah-ah-ah. I stepped back in alarm. Have you lost your ever-loving mind? I asked. What the hell? I leaned over her, caging her in against the desk. Why the hell was she imitating Count Von Count from Sesame Street? Badly, I might add. Are you taking some sort of hallucinogenic drugs? Not the right numbers? She asked. Seemingly confused. You really need to be more detailed when demanding things, boss. I need a specific set of numbers, Myers. Oh, she paused, a frown wrinkling her forehead. Then she grinned, her eyes dancing. 69. What? That's your favorite number, isn't it? She grinned. 69 lashings of your tongue. I covered her mouth. Finish that and you're fired. That's all you get.
I love it.
She's a little cheeky, that one.
Drinking us?
I love her personality throughout the whole book, and just like when like Bane like pisses her off, she gets a little extra cheeky, and I just adore that. I was like, yes, you go, girl. Like that. I love that. And
she doesn't back down. She
never
doesn't get afraid. She just sort of digs in and gives it right back to him. Yeah. And no one does that. Everyone else runs.
I love how she deals with Bane's mother. That I was just like, I love that.
That was kind of based on a true story.
On someone we know, or you know?
Someone who might be on camera right now. I'd been pretty sick, and things happen. Things happen when you're sick.
They do.
I was telling Karen, and I was laughing so hard about it, and suddenly I'm like, that needs to go in a book, because it was just too funny. So that ended up, that's how she gets rid of the mother. Because let's face it, the mother needs to be gotten rid of.
Oh my God, yeah.
So toxic. Oh my gosh. If like sometimes I like characters are just characters, whatever. But then like there's the character you just like can't stand. And like she's not in the book a lot, but when she is, I just like my like teeth like tighten against. I'm like, oh, this toxic woman. Like just
I know the back of my hand was itching just to like.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, like
I had to make her awful.
So that
she was just he knows
she becomes his soft spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was just after his mother leaves during one of the last confrontations where she reaches out and hugs Bane, and he doesn't really know how to hug, and then suddenly he grips her and he holds her really, really tight. That's when I think they sort of cemented together, because he realized that she was that rock for him and that she always would be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I loved how... Yeah, you go.
I just love the relationship that they built, like Bane and Maggie. It was amazing, because it was almost a friendship on top of the relationship, because like she made him laugh, and he barely ever laughed. I loved that.
Yes, when the first time he laughed and she saw that he laughed, that was sort of, she knew she was sort of on the right track. She was always a little worried before, but then suddenly she realized that what she does makes him laugh. Today in the car, when you come out of the dentist and you're not, they'd had to freeze me, and I was I'd been in the chair for 3.5 hours. So Matt came and got me, and I get in the car and I asked him a question, and he's like, no, that didn't happen. And I said, did you do something about it? And he's like, well, what would you like me to do about it? So I smacked on the dash and I went, what the fuck? What the fuck? And then he just started to laugh. And he's like, how high are you?
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck? I thought I was smacking the dash, like, what the fuck? But no, I was like a child. So my husband doesn't laugh easy. So when I make him laugh, it always makes me smile. I think I was smiling anyway because I was a little hungry, but
that's what I feel like. I'm a good wife too. It's like, because like Kyle, when he laughs, it's always like a like like and then so when there's like sometimes he'll be like ha ha ha, I'm like, oh, I made him laugh. Like, I'm like, I
Sure.
did a good job. Yeah.
Yes, and that's how Maggie feels when she makes Bane laugh. It makes him, and she knows he's feeling something, just like when Hedgie came into the picture.
Oh, Hedgehog Hedge Fund.
Yes.
Like, that's the best name ever.
It's a Bane name.
Yeah.
That and his insistence that this cat could go for walks.
Yeah,
And
like a
Hedgie's
dog.
like, no, I'm not having any of that, human.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so funny. Like now I can relate to that scene because over the weekend, my neighbor had this cat staying in her backyard for the past 5 days. And so she messages me, she's like, "Can you come over?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" So I walk into her backyard and she's holding this kitten. Like it's maybe 6 months old. And I'm like, "Oh no." And she's just like, "It needs a home." And I'm like, "All right." So I took it home. And my husband's like, "We don't have a litter box. We don't have food. What are you doing?" And I was like, "Well, look at her." So within the hour, he goes to Walmart. He picks up all the stuff. Guess where this freaking cat sleeps?
On
Because
him.
it isn't with me.
Nope.
It's with him. This cat is his cat now. And I'm just like, I can relate to Hedgehog now. I can relate.
And have you named the kitten?
Yeah, her name is Lushes. Lush for short.
I love that.
Oh.
Yes, they I rescued our cat, and she's not mine. She's mine.
Yeah, the cats are traitors.
Yeah, if the two of us are in the room, she's by his feet. In bed, she's by his leg. If the two of us walk into a room, she's right over to where he is, and I'm like, "Who brought you home?"
Right?
Yeah.
I rescued you. I clean your litter box. I feed you. But no, she just sees dollar signs when she sees daddy, and that's it. And she's just, no, he buys me cat toys.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with him.
Well, good to know they can be bought.
Yeah.
She knows it too. She's wickedly smart like that. So,
well, there you go. Your neighbor brought you a cat, and you brought a cat to him.
Yeah, there you go.
And what color is
his
she?
cat now?
Is
Pardon
she?
me?
What color is the cat?
She is a tuxedo. She's black and she has white little paws and has white like from her chin down. If the little brat comes here, I can show you, but she's just stalking
Or
at
maybe
me
you
right
need
now,
your
so.
husband to walk over so she follows him.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
Dave, get this cat over to me.
Oh,
You might
dear.
hear her bell every once in a while off her collar, so she's here. She just, yeah.
She's ignoring you.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
They're great.
Sonia, any questions?
No. No, I have lots.
Steal my question.
No. I do have one. Where did you hear chalk and cheese? I've never heard that before, and I went like down like a rabbit hole. Like this makes no sense to me. Like
You've never heard the expression chalk and cheese?
No, and I'm like,
Actually, neither have I.
It means they're different, and I'm like, okay,
These
like
are,
how?
yeah, worlds apart.
Yeah, but I've seen people eat chalk. I don't how they do.
I don't know why people compare them, but my mother always said that expression, and so did my grandmother.
Oh, okay, so it's like an older.
It's an older. I don't know if it's an English expression, but that my mom would say, "Well, that's as different as chalk and cheese," and it just made sense to me. Did I use that in this book?
You did, yes. You're like, did I even use that expression?
Why would you ask me that question?
Yeah, no, I was like, what does this mean? So I had to like stop reading for a bit. And I was like, where did this like come from? Yeah, it's like an old English saying. I was like, oh, like I don't know. Yeah. So
and I don't know if it's because chalk is dry and cheese is creamy.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I mean, that's as different as night and day. It's like saying night and day, but
yeah, I got very autistic about it. I was like, this doesn't make sense to me. Like I was like reading, like maybe they're talk about chalk and cheese, but they didn't. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, where did this come from? Yeah.
Does Babe use that in landscaping?
Yeah, like what is happening? Do they like have like a charcuterie board or something? And like I was gonna have to
Right
look
on
it
a
up.
chalkboard and it dropped into it. Like, what are you talking about?
Yes,
It's an old expression, and I'm old. And obviously, my editor must be old because she never questioned the expression.
I'm sure it's a very common expression. I just myself, I've never heard it before, and I was like, where did this come from? Like, did you make it up? I was like, what?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did because
You're
I'm a
taking the
writer
credit.
and we do that
That's right.
shit.
Take the credit. Be like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, I did. I
Spread
made
the
that up.
word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it like fetch. Spread the
But
word.
it stood out. I was like, oh, like that. I'm gonna have to use it now because I don't know what I'm gonna use it for. But now I'm gonna have to.
Well, instead of saying that's night and day, you say that's chalk and cheese.
It's chalk and
watch
cheese.
people go, what does that mean? And you'll go, I made it up.
Look at her like, what?
And my editor's usually good. She teases me all the time. She's like, is this Canadian? Because she's an American, right? So she'll be like, this must be one of your Canadianisms because I've never heard of this. And 9 times out of 10, she's right. It's something that we have in Canada or say in Canada. So she must have heard the expression herself.
Yeah.
But my proofers are Canadian.
Tidbits? You know the word tidbits? I always thought it was Timbits. Like, you know our donuts, like the little Timbits?
Yes.
And then when I read it in a book, it's tidbits. I was all like, no, they spelled that wrong. It's supposed to be an M, not a D. And then I realized I'm so fucking Canadian.
I feel like everything is related to Tim Hortons.
Exactly. Somehow it's related to Tim Hortons.
Yeah. I was just like, no, that's wrong. They spelled it wrong. Why are you saying tidbits and not Timbits? But yeah.
And they're both small, right?
Yeah.
Tidbits are
that's
tiny
the whole
bits.
definition. Yeah.
Yes. They probably stole it from us.
I think so.
I'm thinking
right?
so too. I think
like 100 years ago, they knew it was going to be a donut. Like they just
exactly
stole it.
I agree. So my favorite scene, my all-time favorite scene, is the condom scene and the allergic. Now my question is, have you ever seen an image of an appendage that has an allergic reaction? Because your description.
Now that wasn't based on real life. But I forget what happened. I forget how it even happened in my head. It hit me that there has to be the whole book, let's face it, is funny, right?
Hilarious.
Yeah. Like and the HR is constantly finding them in compromising positions. You know, I mean, from the very moment she barged into him and knocked him over, their whole relationship was crazy things happening. So I had the typical secretary under the desk sort of thing. And I was thinking I needed something else. And I have no idea where this came from, except for some reason I Googled, can you be allergic to spermicide and latex? And all these sites came up. And I started thinking, oh my God, what if he's allergic to both? Then I'm like, but he'd know in his condoms. And like, well, those cheap ones they give out, at bridal showers and all that. So then I just started writing. And my friend who's a nurse said to me, how did you come up with the spoon and the lip gloss? And I'm like, I have no idea. That just typed itself out of my fingers because it seemed like something Magnolia would do because she's very resourcable.
Yeah.
She can't roll it off. So, when something's stuck, you need a little leverage. And she's probably not going to use a knife because Bane's already a little worried. So, the smooth spoon underneath.
Yes, you must have taken a first aid class because that's exactly how you would cut one of those off. Like
really?
You would, yeah.
I had no idea. That just hit me that she needs something smooth and she's always eating at her desk. So she have a spoon around and she always, all of us have lip gloss somewhere, a little lube there. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah. It just helps it slip it. And then cuticle scissors, just yeah.
Snip, and it's off. And then Bane's mad.
Yeah.
But then we got to meet Sam.
Yeah.
So yes, that was one of my favorite scenes. And Well, I was writing another book. All the funny scenes were coming out in my head for this book. So I had 6 pages of nothing but these scenes. So I had the condom scene, I had the mother scene, I had the desk scene, all written out, but no book yet. And I'd just send them to Karen, and all I'd get are these voicemails of her screaming with laughter. And then when I finally put them all together, she was just, I mean, she loved Kidnapper. Dante's her boyfriend, husband. But she decided that Bane even topped Dante just because they're so ridiculous.
I think so too. I think like Dante was the silent, sweet, silent type, but like Bane was extra. He just was a little extra.
Yes, he's very extra. And I put the dad in there just to give it a little serious note,
a little sadness. Yeah,
yes,
thanks.
a little,
Thanks for that.
a little humanity, a little real life. But
Mhm.
that gave Bane a chance again to stand up and be more open and emotional. So it was supposed to be funny. I didn't realize how funny it was going to be until I started writing it and started laughing as I was writing scenes. In fact, when I was writing the condom scene, I was laughing so hard. Matthew came in. He was like, "Who are you talking to?" I'm like, "Nobody." And I had him read it. He looked at me. Yeah, he read the scene. He's like, you did that to your character? I said, hey, it had to happen because let's face it, it's funny. He's like, I'm not sure I find that funny. I'm like, oh, does it make you uncomfortable? He's like, I kind of want to go away.
It was such a good scene. And then like while she's trying to like save him, he's like, I'm a dirty pervert.
Yes.
Like, that made me laugh so hard. So I was like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah, because his cock is swelling and he's in agony. He looks down and sees her breast and he's like, hello.
Yeah, I'm a dirty pervert. Yeah.
Pervert.
Yeah. Can't help it. I don't know what to do. Yeah.
No, I can't. He can't help himself around Magnolia.
No, and I think that's like so great. Like he's being like a jerk on kind of like on purpose, like because then you get her point of view. And she's like, oh, like, why is he such an ass? And but then like she's like, oh, but like when he's not an ass, he's really sweet. And then she like falls for him too, right? But he's just trying to like push her away because you see his point of view, and he's like, I just dirty things in my mind the whole time. Like I just need to push her away because this can't happen. But
yes. And then her apology poem.
Oh yeah, that was the whole so like thing with it. Yeah, this
yeah,
roses are red. So was your dick.
No, roses are red. Your dick was too. Sorry about the condom and your balls turning blue or something.
Yeah. It was like that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, and that was just her. And then again, the unexpected reaction when he reads it and he's like, oh, thank God I hired you. And not, not someone else I would have hated, or he realizes what color, and even though at times it's painful for him, what joy and zing she brings to his life. Because I think before that, Bane's life was pretty blah.
Yeah, like a little depression, I think, on his side. Like he's just like every day is like the same mundane, just like do my job. This is how it's going to be. Like,
and everything's black and white, right? You go to work, you give it all, you go home. You still work. That's all he did. He went back the next morning, wash, rinse, repeat. There was no color in his life. His mother was at him all the time. There was nothing. There was no color other than black and white and maybe a little bit of gray. And then Magnolia bursts in, and everything changes. There's colors and there's laughter and there's feelings that he doesn't know what to do with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I really liked their relationship. I adore it. I usually don't read romance, but like this one, I loved it. Like it was more focused on their relationship than the romance part, like their friendship and their relationship and how it built throughout trying to keep their romance a secret that didn't really last very long, but it was
especially when you decide to marry her.
Yeah.
And and then the cover, Abby did, Kidnapper, and then she did this cover, and she nailed both of them. She's just
I love
amazing.
the quirky, amazing covers. They're fantastic, and they do capture the story. Like, they really do. Now, I gotta ask.
Sure.
Is Sam getting a book?
Yes, Sam will get a book.
Oh, yay! Will there be a cat?
I think there has to be.
Yeah, I think so too.
The only thing they're supposed to have in common is my favorite in the title. But there was a cat, there was Roomba in Kidnapper, and then a Hedgie in Boss. So I think there has to be a cat in. I haven't even decided what to name it yet. But yes, Sam and Riley will get a book.
Oh, that's great.
I'm so
excited for that.
I have to find their story. Like, it took a while to hear Bane's story. Now I need to hear their story. And I know a few things
that happen. The story about the cat, though. I can give you that one. The cat's going to be a drunk.
Oh.
Right? You're going to have a drunk cat. And it's going to always get into, like, the wine. I'm just saying.
Like a pirate cat? Like, he's going to, have one of its arms missing. And, like, he'll have to have, like, a peg leg. And, like, there'll be,
wow, I think the cold medicine is hitting.
I was just going to say that the cat always gets drunk. Like, someone always leaves their whiskey on the table or their wine, and the cat's always drinking it. And then the cat falls like a drunk. But, like, pirates work too.
Doesn't meow, it R's at you.
Okay, I need to do an outtake, I think.
Just if you want any ideas, just hit us up. We got you.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when someone's high on
all the cold medicine. Yeah, this is my third cup of the day.
Oh God.
I'm like, oh man, I gotta fight these symptoms.
Oh dear. Okay.
Oh,
good one. A pirate cat. Okay, if I tell that to Karen, I'm toast.
Yeah, she'll be like, you lost your mind.
No, she'll be like, right cat.
Right now.
His own little side story. Like,
how he became a pirate.
He thinks he's a pirate. He watched too much of the Caribbean, the movies, the whole
the Pirates of the Caribbean. Yes.
Yeah.
Is the cat going to go savvy all the time?
Yeah, all the time in a meowy kind of way.
Okay. I'm not drunk enough to try that.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what is that? But I'm sure my cat looks like it has mange, so he's always like, like talking shit to me. I'm like, sorry, guy, I don't know what you want. Like, I already fed you. Like,
oh, I know. When they start meowing at you, and you're like, okay, you have water, you've been fed, you had a treat, you've had a head rub, your litter box is clean. What is it you want? And they're okay.
I'm pretty sure he's swearing. And like my cat doesn't like being pet. Like, he can only pet the top of his head, and then anything else he bites you. So like, it's just, he's like, no, bitch. Like that. And if you pet him too much, he bites you. Like, he's just like, no.
So he's like Mr. Gray with the lipstick. This is the area.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
He's a Maine
You
Coon.
go outside these lines. That's it. We're going down.
Yeah.
Anything else? In the red room.
That's right. You're in trouble.
Okay. Well, this has been an interesting talk about cats for the most part.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we just talked about the book, but turned into just talking about cats.
Just talking about cats. Yes, so there will be at least a third book, maybe 4, because I have an idea for another favorite book. So I'm not sure if Sam and Riley will be next or if they'll be the one after, but there will be a Sam and Riley book.
Oh, that's great. I like this series. Like, it caught me off guard because, like, again, like, I'm mostly like, I love sci-fi, but I will read the shit out of anything. But these books, I was lucky enough to get like one of those advanced like copies that you guys gave us. But then even after I read it, I had to like get it. So I also have them both on my Kindle so I can like read them again.
Right.
Like I just really like I really enjoy the characters you bring to your books. Like they're both have been fantastic so far. So I'm really excited that there'll be more.
Yeah, it's not often that I get in that. You have to be in a certain frame of mind, I think, to write funny.
Yeah.
Have a few glasses of cold meds. You'll be good. go to the dentist again. You'll be fine.
And then find yourself some
Right.
catnip.
That's right.
So, and I have lots of books in my head, but every so often, funny. I already do have some scenes written for Sam and Riley again in a file, so that when I'm ready, I can read them and pull from them, and then start creating the book around them. When I see something funny, I tend to write it out so I don't forget it.
That's good.
That's
smart.
Yeah.
I don't do that. Like I'll leave voice notes or whatever, like, but then I'll listen to it like the following day and I'm like, that makes no sense. What was I saying? Like,
well, I get fabulous ideas at 3:30 in the morning. And I'm like, as soon as I get up, I'm going to write that. And then I get up the next morning and I have little glimpses of the brilliance I had at 3:30. And I'm like, I should have written that down, because all I have are little tiny bits and they make no sense to me. So I've learned, I keep a notebook by the bed now. And if I wake up, I either write it out, or, you know what, I'm retired. I get up and I go and I type it out and then go back to bed, because I don't have to get up at 8 in the morning and go to work. So I have learned. I've gotten smarter. So
yeah, the wiser, right?
Yes.
Like life experience has taught you.
Yes.
Keep a notebook.
Stop thinking, oh, I'll remember that in the morning, because I will not.
No, the memory is not there anymore. Like,
No. Nothing's more brilliant than your ideas in the middle of the night.
Exactly.
Oh my God. I know. It's that witching hour, that 3 a.m. Like, it gets me too. Like, I'll just randomly think of something at 3 in the morning. I'm like, I need to focus on that. But then I can never go back to sleep right away. And then I have to get up at 7 in the morning for my kid. And I'm like,
and it's gone.
Not good.
There's little crystals of it there. And you're like, okay. So he said, every so often I can remember, but it's never as funny as when I think about it at 3 in the morning. So I got
everything's funnier at 3 in the morning.
Yeah,
that's true. Nothing's as funny as it is at 3 in the morning.
It's like delirious. You're like, oh,
Yeah. I wake Matt up laughing sometimes. And he'll wake me up and he's like, I don't know what you're dreaming about. And if I'm smart and the dream's still there, I write it out. But
yeah,
sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter. It's not that funny. It must have been because you were Portland away. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to sleep.
Yeah. Exactly. You look like you're fading, Missy.
I am. I'm like, hey, would you like to tell everybody where they can find you and your book, this one and all your other ones? That,
like, I have to give them my home address?
Yeah, like, be like, here, you can come here and pick it up. Yeah.
Both of these books are with Waterhouse Press, so they're any major retailer. I'm going to be actually in Erie, Pennsylvania next week, signing at Barnes & Noble. And then I'm going to be in Philadelphia in November. But otherwise, my books are available on Amazon. The Vested Interest series is about to go wide. So we've pulled it out of KU and it's going to go everywhere. So you'll be able to get it on Apple and Barnes & Noble and all those sites. And otherwise, Amazon, most of the books are in KU. And you can order through your retailer. They don't really stock the books unless you're with a publisher.
You gotta be like, hey, bring it here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can ask your bookstore to specifically order a book, even if it is not public, like trad published, even if it's indie, you can. But people don't know that.
No.
And like bookstores also don't advertise that because they don't want to order just one or two or whatever. So people should know that.
Yes. And the contract series is also in all the major retailers. So, because that's with Waterhouse Press as well. So, that's really fun to walk into a bookstore and see that many of my books in the store. It's really fun.
Do you
So-
like, are you ever in like shock when that happens? You're like, oh my gosh, those are my books. Or are you like used to it now?
No, I don't think I'll ever get used to it. What's really fun is when I walk in, the one in Amherst seems to do really well with my books. So last time I walked in, they had a table with the contract series and the favorite books, and it was really cool to see piles of them instead of most of them order 2 or 3 and they keep them on the shelf. But when I see, a stack of 10 or 12, that's very cool.
That's a big deal.
That is a big deal.
That's so great.
Yeah, and I did a signing in, oh God, Ohio. Ohio? Yes, Mommy.
You don't even know where you've
I
been.
was. I don't know where I was. Matthew, where did I sign? Where was Mommy? Was that Ohio? Mommy. Ohio. There. Okay.
So
Just
great.
outside of Toledo. And I was one of 6 authors. And there's line ambassadors, and I had this great little ambassador, and I was running low on books, and I thought, oh, I guess I'll be out. She's like, oh, we have more in the back. So she comes back with piles. So I sign and sign. And then the signing's over, and the manager says to me, oh, we ordered a few books, or we ordered books for 2 other stores. Would you mind signing them? I said, sure, expecting him to bring out, books. No, they bring out a cart that's got
Oh my gosh.
92 books on it or something. And she's like, just sign as many as you feel like signing. I'm like, I will sign every damn last one of them. Because what an incredible feeling to see that many books going to a couple stores.
Yes.
So that was the highlight of my day. Probably one of the highlights of my year. And it was fun. And I love those signings when there's 5 or 6 of you in the store, and that's what all those people in the line are there to see, is all 6 of you, and you get a chance to talk to everybody. It's really fun. So
that's so great.
Yeah. And it's something I never thought I'd see, because I never thought I'd get books in a store.
Yeah. It's hard.
Like, that's an amazing accomplishment. That it really is.
It certainly was a goal. It was a dream. So to have it happen with the contract series, and then when they asked about taking over Kidnapper and the other ones in the series, I was like, that'll be 2 sets of books, like in the bookstores. Absolutely. And Waterhouse has been great to work with. So.
Oh, that's great. It's good when you have such a positive experience. Like, you hear like bad things with other like publishers and writers are like not doing so good. And so it's great when you have hear that there's actually good relationships between writers and
publishers. No, they've been fabulous, and the staff is great. And Karen keeps them on their toes. Does this surprise anybody?
No, it's great. And it's good to have a Karen. Yeah.
Waterhouse said to me, like, you're lucky to have her. She's amazing. I know. I never I'm never letting her go.
Reason.
Yes, she's great. But she's always, as we all know, she's full of ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And a phone call from her that starts with, okay, I need you to listen. I'm like, oh God. That's usually when I need alcohol.
Yeah, just a few shots.
Yeah. Because I'm like, what does she have planned now? But I have to say, her plans 9.5 times out of 10 are exactly what we need. So she's amazing. Even if she comes online drunk.
I can't wait for her to listen to this episode. Like, when she hears the pirate cat, she's gonna lose her mind.
We need that pirate cat. Oh.
Yeah,
she's a good sport. Yeah.
Yeah, she is going to call me and say, you know what? And I will have forgotten about it. And she'll be like, so the pirate cat. And I'll be the pirate cat. Oh God, the pirate cat. The 3-legged pirate cat.
Oh yeah. Looking forward to reading about that mangy bastard.
Yeah. Okay.
So thank you again so much, Melanie, for joining us. And hopefully your next book, you're not tired of us and you'll come back.
Absolutely.
So
we
wonderful.
enjoy having you.
I know, you're so great.
I always enjoy talking to you girls.
Hometown hero.
There we go. And I hope you feel better, Sonia.
Oh, thank you. I'm sure after a few more cups of this, I'll be great. I'll be good to go.
And I hope your throat feels better, Dawn Marie.
Oh, thanks. It's my eyes are starting to water this whole episode. Like,
yes, I can see that.
My sinuses, they're just going crazy. I'm like, oh,
the book is just
spreading her
so
germs.
much. You just through the internet.
Stupid bitch.
And I just have to end the episode with thanking everyone who listens. Thank you so much. And a special thank you to Stephanie Hurst, our VIP Patreon. And if you would like a shout out, you can join us on our Patreon at the highest tier, but you can also join our lowest tier for extra content starting at $2 a month. So thank you, everybody who's listening.
Thanks. Have a good night, ladies. Feel better.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.